and then I'll cut on ours live stream. Don't know if it's go live. Okay. And live stream should be the YouTube. Oh, I'm setting it up really fast, Julia. This for YouTube, so it's streamed on YouTube as well.
Okay.
And okay, so it is recording now. All right. Okay. All right. So thank you, Julia, for asking me to do the reading for you. And today was going to be looking at your aspects, the cloning, the Orphan Black is what was kind of connecting with all the clonings. And if people haven't seen that TV series, it's a lady who's cloned out, and then they're all different personalities, and so we're kind of looking for that in the program. And then the Black Pyramid, because I saw that too. You had me listen to one of your readings and stuff. So, and then to help you look at get more details of it. So, I had listened to like the Cosmic Disclosure before. And then they mentioned that Black Pyramid in Antarctica. So I can tell you what I remember with that part of it. And that is connected to the Greys, you know, with the Nazi Greys. So
Yeah.
So and then I did take notes, and I made you an artwork too, and then was gonna do some cards and stuff too. So where do you want to kind of start at?
Yeah, I mean, starting with the Zeta Greys, I think would be good, because like they've been seen either side of me, messing with me, like checking my radiation dose and things like that. So I seem to have ability to transmute radiation. I kind of want to know, what relationship do I have with these Zeta Greys? Like, because I know that you have a strong bond, like they're family in a way for you, and you love spending time with them. But it was kind of said that sometimes they're nice to me and other times they're experimenting on me. So if I have contracts, I kind of want to know what they are and how can I get out of these contracts.
Oh, how to get out of them?
Yeah, or should I continue, or so what are the, because also what I've not shared with anybody yet was I was in meditation and I saw me come up and I smiled and waved at me. And then when I went onto YouTube afterwards, I clicked on somebody's video and they were talking about how the Zeta Greys, they assume your identity, which has already been talked about, but sometimes they're just waving and smiling at you. And I thought, oh my God, so there's me thinking it was me or it was a clone aspect, but it wasn't. It was just the Zetas saying, hey, we're here and we look like you too. So it was really bizarre. Like, so there's me thinking I've connected to another part of me, but I'd only connected to a Zeta.
Yeah. So that's probably like a consciousness, of maybe because I think they're like a group of conscious, so I was seeing there's like I always see this pod, like a gray in a pod, and then it can create all these vessels, empty vessels, and then project its consciousness into the vessels, and it can create any kind of clone vessel, so you could be whatever it wanted to look like to blend in with that place that it's going to. So I feel like you would have maybe that even as part of those clones as well, because that gray consciousness and then projected made several clones that look like with your DNA and the gray DNA, or something like that too. So you would maybe look like you, because you said that you've seen yourself before, so kind of, so that kind of feels like that's one, but there's like a whole bunch of different groups with the Greys. It's not just that one doing everything, because you have in that Black Pyramid in Antarctica, because it's underground base, and I was seeing like I see like it's like a scientist person, but then I was looking and it looks like you're doing like the cloning, like you're creating clones. And I even think that it's like aspects of you in these different clones, and you've programmed them. So it's like you're a master at creating these clones, and the perfect, like it's perfection. It's like you have this whole program that you're doing, but it's all because it is kind of like you're really strict and stern, maybe like a kind of like the German soldier Nazi person, like that, so you would want these grays to work with you, but you control them like they work for you. So um you you really don't trust many human to do the work, because they just, you have high expectations and standards in that place. This is working with the Black Pyramid in this because
There's
it's like,
there's multiple black pyramids. So there's a black pyramid that is close to me in my current
uh-huh,
location, which I'm supposed to visit. Because I've been
yeah,
visiting.
that's it.
I've had
That's
it
it.
come forward like 3 times recently.
Hmm.
So, and the second time I was inside this black pyramid, and it's like in that movie Flight of the Navigator when he sits in the chair. It was like
Okay.
that, but I could see that there was military on the outside, so it's still in this polygon, which is like underground, this military training base or test base. But it's kind
Hmm.
of like the Black Pyramid is a ship, and it's being held against its will, and
Oh,
it
so
wants
that's
to
something else
explore.
too.
Yeah, and also
Okay.
a friend of mine has also had a visit from the Black Pyramid, and that surprised me. So it's like we're
Hmm.
we're closely connected to the kind of DNA activation on this
Hmm.
Black Pyramid. Yeah,
Okay, so that's going to be something completely another thing, So there's so many uh aspects of you to do all these things. And I don't know if they're aspects of you, even though they're clones, they have a piece of your consciousness, So there's, you could say, aspects of you
yeah,
in
and
all
there's
these
there's a,
places.
there's a really high number of them on
Mm-hmm.
like across all realms of existence.
Yeah.
A really massive number, and that's supposed to
Okay.
be one of the reasons why I don't have full use of like powers in the here
Yeah.
because I'm supposed
Yeah.
to, yeah,
Well, because if you have full power here, then you wouldn't be able to really fit in, and you would probably be highly monitored even more and harassed, and probably put into a psych ward or something, because they would think that
yeah,
you're because you would
crazy,
probably blow up stuff all the time,
yeah,
like it would be not, you wouldn't like it. You know how on Charmed, how she can blow up stuff or move
yeah.
stuff with their mind, like that. So if you did that, so anyway, yeah. So they probably, you probably, I don't know if you're a clone in this. Do you think you're a clone in this body here?
No, I think this could be an original.
Hmm.
Although there's been so many like programs. My original birth was supposed to be in 1920, is what came out of the ACIO files. So I don't know, but I know there was a mind wipe in this body. So I've had six
Okay.
mind wipes, and the last one was definitely in this body.
Mind
So I'm
wipe.
not sure if this is an original body or what, to be honest. I
Do you
don't know.
have a pendulum? You have your pendulum? You want to ask if that is? I have mine too.
Let me find mine. Hold on.
Okay.
Moving my furniture today, so I was packing everything. Yeah.
Is Julia original?
It's a good question.
It says yes, that you're original.
I also get a yes.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm like, and it's the same, with the male version. It's like we're the originals in this multi-clone project. And like me and him are supposed to have gone through the same experiences and everything. And then we've got this massive amount of clones out there, which are used in like off-world, different realms, all over. So
Okay.
that's a good question. That's nice to know that this is the original body. That's probably
Okay, so
also
so
pain. So
yeah, like with completing with that Black Pyramid though, the one
yeah,
that's the one that's in the underground base, so
yeah,
that's kind of what you do, is create the clone. So that's one
yeah,
reality where you work with all these grays. So then they come to you like you're their teacher, boss, you know, all that. You tell them what
Okay.
to do, you know, in that place. And then there's, so I don't know exactly if it's someplace in that base. So and that's your job, is creating these clones of whatever you're doing to be bought. Because I was seeing like there's like batches of like how the Orphan Black, you know, how they have like multiple personalities, but there's like 5 or 6 or however they create multiple batches in case one of them, you know, the one of the clones gets sick or something, because they don't last a long time or so. So they have certain missions to do, like most of them are assassin or
Yeah.
spy or something like that, you know,
So
with
yeah,
that. So
I do have the connection to connect into the clones
mhm.
and see through them, and I've been told not to do that, but it just kind of daydreams in, it just kind of happens.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was able
Yeah.
to, like, on a session with someone, I was able to, you know, pinpoint locations of clones as well. And I
Mm.
had a vision come forward, and it was a map of the planet, and it was like me in the center where I am, and then these arrows going out, highlighting different locations of the
Oh,
clones.
okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was like
Yeah.
it was holographic, so it was like a real-time map of clones.
Yeah, so they all have jobs to do. So you probably don't want to, I mean, unless you get the information just naturally, you know, like, but I wouldn't try to interfere with that, because then they're, you know, they might be on a mission, and then your interference might mess
Yeah.
up something, you know, and then so yeah, I wouldn't.
I think
But
it's
then
like I'm picking up these
yeah,
consciousness streams.
right,
I'm
like I
snapping
do too.
it up
Hmm.
and like phasing in and out.
You can
So
tune into them, but not
yeah,
interfere with the mission. That's okay. I think that's fine, you know, because
yeah,
you're
okay.
just picking up on the energetic signature, you
Yeah.
know, and without interfering with their mission, you know, so that I think that's perfectly fine. You know, that's how you learn about all your aspects this
Yeah,
way,
I think it could
you
be a
know.
proximity thing as well, because I don't seem to be tuning into ones that are off-world that much. I've had a couple of flash visions come in where I've definitely been like scientist mode, um, but also there's been kind of super soldiers there wearing halo suit, or in that when they're in that really big suit, you know, like they're
Oh, the
operating
big,
like an avatar, and we're
oh,
in that big robot body.
mm-hmm,
I forget what that's called, but I've been there and I've seen that. And then the
mm.
other day I had a vision of it was actually Drago Reid in a halo suit, and I was observing. I don't know what I was wearing, but it was barracks. It was definitely barracks with like beds lined up and things like that.
Oh, so
But
but you're like the science, like a scientist. I see you as a scientist observing a lot in
I'm
these
not sure.
things.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I was the scientist there or if I was also in a suit.
Oh yeah, I do see that too. So I
Yeah,
see both. So you
yeah,
might even be both, you know? So you might, and he's probably both as well, because I can see him as a scientist too. And
yeah,
y'all both maybe even creating all these clones of you, and then working together as the scientist to for those missions, you know,
yeah.
for
So
them.
there's multiple versions of us who are different ages. So we've been taken at different ages throughout time, all kind of working on the same projects, and that's why we get a lot of interference.
Mm.
Um, yeah, because it's like the proximity aspect is interfering, so I'm tuning into things that I shouldn't really be picking up on, but the other clones are so close.
Hmm. But there would be where you would, so this kind of like a signal going off or something, you know,
Yeah,
like that maybe. Then they, like, you can't, like, interference probably if you get too close. So they would need to move away, you know.
yeah,
So I think that I don't know why they would come near you, because they know their mission. So they probably was
yeah.
sent to that area for some reason. So you
Like
might,
in the science lab, they've got multiple versions because I know on one of his videos it was literally documented. There's multiple versions of him in the same lab,
oh, okay. With
right?
the lab.
Different ages in the same bunker. It was like, so I don't know if that's the same kind of thing going on with me, but that's how it feels.
Okay. So give me kind of like a direction and then one thing, because we're talking, we're going to kind of going all over with
Yeah.
that, so then I can
So,
tune in easier with,
so with the Zeta Greys, are they like around me all the time? Because that's how it feels that
yeah.
I'm getting targeting from them all the time. Like, electronic interference, scalar and kind of things in the nighttime. So I don't sleep very much at all.
Well, it's like with the grays, there's good and bad, like that. So they're, or you could say good and bad, but they're neutral. So um I mean, some are working with you, some are you tell them what to do. So there's different layers of them. But then there's also the grays that are like Orion gray, kind of like that, where they're more nefarious and um they're the ones that would have the scalar weapon, have the black helicopter targeting, monitoring and doing things to try to keep your mind erased, because uh you have those aspects that work for their projects, so I would say it's like um off world,
Yeah.
aspects, and it's like on, I want to say the moon, but it seems further, seems deeper, because the moon seems basic now, like it seems like an old school kind of place. So there's like faster versions of places that you would be updated to, so maybe it even might be, no, it don't see like on a ship, but I always see you like in a lab coat in these
Yeah.
places, and it's like you lay down, how also that TV series Dollhouse, how she goes on these missions where she lays in that chair and then she goes out. So that's kind of one of the clones too. And then I can see you as the person doing the programming too, to the clone of yourself, and you make them look different, you're so, you want it to be exact, and everything. You want them to be certain, you program it to be like perfection, like you're a perfectionist. So that quality isn't so common. People aren't that, it's like an extreme
Yeah. Well, that
sound.
comes into the phrase that was taken out of that military file, where apparently I'd said we need to do it anyway, otherwise it will not be accepted. So it's like that level of perfection has to be there to ensure that the clones are accepted into society or project or whatever.
Oh,
So
okay. So
I
maybe
didn't
they
really
didn't.
sense that phrase until you said that. Um, yeah,
Well, so the grays like Orion or so they would monitor you. You would have like I think that might be that black, I don't know if it's a black triangle that would monitor, because they could project their consciousness into those ships, to make
yeah,
them monitor you, because I don't think they actually come here physically. They are telepathic and, communicating with you consciously, and
yeah.
doing things to manipulate. um
So
they so you here, you have like a you being here has a key role too. It's like you hold like the original blueprint or so, so it's like they're trying, a lot of things try to get at that blueprint, and they want that sample of, so that original sample can create millions of clones. But like if it's a clone that's been cloned out all these times, then it's not going to be as sharp, and it's not going to last as long of a lifetime. So that's why they would
yeah,
want to have your DNA. And then you had mentioned that you have the Lyran DNA, as one of your DNAs, because you would have the, I would say, like the star seed DNA, which is all of the places,
yeah,
like you have many aspects of you, but like with your oversoul, that would be, I would say, all of them, all of the things that you feel you resonate with, the Andromeda, like your oversoul here, like it's angelic, and so then it's kind of like, I always look at it like Christmas tree, you know, and then the oversoul creates aspects of itself, and so all these aspects are many places all over, everywhere, creating and doing things, you know. So creating universes, you know, doing all these missions. So you have so many aspects. So it's just finding, just even to start out how we're doing, you know, because this is just like a starting when we're waking up and noticing all these things going on, you know. So I know we won't ever get the full picture, you know, because that's impossible from this perspective, you know, from where we are
Yeah.
here. But you know, but there's a reason why we're here and planted here on Earth, you know. So that's why you get targeted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And see
Yeah.
the
So
picture I drew for you I drew this last night.
oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
Oh,
what,
I love
like,
it.
all those are aspects of you, you
Yeah.
know, like you have so many aspects of you in so many realities on
Yeah.
ships and the hybridization program. So you're also a part of the Gray's hybridization program, you know, so they would take, of course, because they take your DNA, you know, so but then they want to create these hybrids, but I don't think that you had control over that, you know, so maybe those things, um, I think you maybe, there's some pieces that you don't have control over, you know, because they came and erased your mind here. They took it here, you know, and
Yeah.
then erased it. And then so
Because
they have these hybrids.
I definitely got it noted in the files that there's been 6 mind wipes, which have been quite aggressive. And
Mm-hmm.
so I do feel
Yeah.
like, you know, it is the research, but little things are
Yeah.
coming
I
now.
would think it's all the every mission you go on, then
Yeah.
they wipe your mind after every mission so you don't remember, you know, but then as you kind of start talking about it and thinking about it and tuning into these things going on, then it opens it up. It's like that kind of thing. So but it, I mean, they can completely erase the whole, like we could be talking now and they stop time and then put us back and we could be gone 20 years, you know, or 50 or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, so we don't know either when that would happen, you know.
I had those like 2 times in the last month or so. There's been black helicopters over my house. And
Mm-hmm.
one time I was literally like, you know, I was on the bus and I went to the supermarket and I'm walking back down and there's this black helicopter and I took a photo of it. That's how close it was to my house.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then so when I asked the question, someone they said, "Oh, they're just returning you." And I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, I was just in the supermarket. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make any sense, you
It's
know.
like that fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you would be whatever mission you had to do in this,
So
you
like,
know, because they needed you. So they
did they
have,
take me off the bus?
they
They,
just stop.
they took
They
me off
just
the
like
bus.
if you're watching a movie and you hit pause, then that's
Yeah.
what they do. They pause the reality, but it's still continue, like it's out of time. So they
I'm
would take
literally
that
getting
pause
I'm
and then
literally
put it
getting
back.
pressure on my head right now. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so that's kind of how I see it. But they time still goes on for everybody else, you know,
yeah,
but they paused your timeline here and then pulled that and then put you back, you know, like
yeah,
that. So they had you, they pulled you out, and then whatever they did, they could have, you could have been gone for 100 years on some mission, you know.
yeah.
And I thought of Mars just then, you know, so I think
But
that
yeah, so
you
there's 2
still are
bases on
there.
Mars and that I've been recorded that I've been in these places on Mars, Area 58 and Area 81,
Hmm.
working as a scientist.
Scientist still.
So yeah,
Okay. So let's try to find other aspects that's not scientist, you know, that would be
yeah,
something else besides a scientist, because you know,
yeah,
you would want to do other things too and
yeah.
explore, you know,
I
so
did I did get that one flash memory of it was me and I was in some kind of lab, but I was a subject and
mm-hmm.
I was strapped
Okay.
to like an upright table of some
Mm-hmm.
kind and I had a strap across my chest. And when I
Hmm.
looked over, it was Drago Reid opposite me, but he was out, he was blank. It was like we were both inactive. And when we spoke about it, he could get that kind of sense as well.
Hmm.
So so we were it was literally like I was just waking up So it felt very like Winter Soldier, like I've been woken up from something, like I've been active for a while.
What do you think with that? Like tune into that part with you. So this was Mars where you were at? Is that
I'm
what you're
no, I'm not sure
seeing?
if it was Mars, but I mean it probably was. But me and
It-
him were like going through the same experiences, same augmentations, that kind of thing. And but because we were strapped down, then it's like we were there unwillingly.
mhm.
Um,
So
so
then you're facing each other. There was
we're
no one
facing
else
each other,
in
like
the
he
room,
was across the room. No, there was just lots of lights and kind of glass. Um,
like interrogation room,
no, it didn't feel like interrogation. It still felt like a lab, but there was
a
just kind
lab.
of, yeah, it was some kind of lab. So we were being kind of brought back from something. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
see. So then they would strap you down so then so
yeah.
you don't so
But
you
it felt
don't
like
try
I
to
was
hit or nothing
standing.
like that, you know? So you don't
Yeah,
try to hit or use your abilities or nothing like
yeah. It
that.
kind of felt like I was upright. Um, I didn't feel like I was in anything. It felt like I was strapped to some kind of upright table or something. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
that is, but that's how
Mm-hmm.
it kind of felt. And I could see him, but he was inactive. So,
Yeah, like
like,
a empty vessel, like an empty
maybe, yeah,
vessel.
it's kind of shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Looks like the Avatar movie, you know, like that, like where you how they have where they lay in that bed thing, and
right.
they're in that lockdown, you know, and then they're being accessed to these other places. So why
So, right
what is it with
now, what I feel right now is as if someone's coming in, but as if we're getting something, some kind of like fluids or something being put into the body. Um,
fluids into that body?
yeah, if it does feel like some kind of fluids coming up into the body, as if the body, oh, it could even be like nano or something. I don't know. I can feel
Mm.
that in the heart. There's definitely some kind of
Oh,
fluids there.
so are they like are they
Yeah,
I wonder if they are like as a test subject too with things with
yeah,
the because you know you and him both have the sleep problems, you know.
yeah.
So is it
It's
like
like,
they're doing experiments with you?
yeah, because it's like we're in the same targeting patterns. We both only sleep for a certain amount of time at nighttime. We
Mhm.
both have loads of pain in the body at night, like in the lower back and stuff like that, and me with my ankles. But I know I'm going through the radiation experiments because that's
Mm.
what Jessica mentioned. And I was working at a nuclear processing plant at the time. So it was as if I was placed there to see how much radiation dose I could transmute, so
Mhm.
that my clones or my aspects could go and work in those
Oh,
radiation areas. Yeah,
so they must be like doing different experiments and seeing how much how far they can push you till you die, and then they would just regenerate you, and you know like that. So it's over and over with that. So if
yeah,
it's radiation, if it's some kind of nano that they inject, and then they maybe electroshock you, you know, or do like all kinds of injections too that they would
yeah,
just like it's aggressive too how
yeah,
they do it because then I see you like scream and then
yeah,
you pass out, you know? And
yeah,
so so what is it with you and Drago that you are looking at each other like
yeah,
let's look at what why, you know,
yeah.
are
Because it's
you
like
trauma
it's been documented
bonding
that he's like a brother in this
brother?
program. So and that's what the ACIO basically tuned into, and that's what they confirmed in the files. So me and him are mirrored somehow. And but when we, so
Weird.
we've only met once, but when we did, the energy felt really heightened between us. And there's something about him that makes me extremely anxious. And it's like people in the past have said, "Oh, you should meet this guy," and I was just like, "No, no, it's okay. I don't need to meet him," kind of thing. And then
Mm-hmm.
it had literally confirmed like 2, 3 times going through the files that me and him are seen in the same places at the same time on the same projects, and we're literally like siblings.
Hmm.
So yeah, but
Okay.
they don't call it trauma bond, trauma twin,
Okay. So
or
it's not that. So it's just like you're from the same
yeah, we're just
soul, it's like a soul family connection. like that kind of a thing. So
Yeah, we're just kind of going through the same project together or something with the
yeah,
same.
because with the grays, you know, like I think this one of those is like that Orion group, you know.
Yeah,
That's what I see with them because they they have it looks like a different lab now though. It's like a dark lab, you know, and then
yeah,
they
that makes
have
sense to me
they
because I
have
think
they have these different kinds of monsters too that they would like their DNA injection. It looks like a squid kind of thing, and I can see it kind of coming out, maybe like a black goo kind of thing, and one
yeah,
of those, you know, and then they take over, and then that's pushed to the limit there, that
yeah,
one, and then they would then it would die, you know, that clone would die after
yeah.
whatever it was doing. But they just do this. They do this for it's like for fun almost these grays because they have because
I I got like an image then of black eyes, and sometimes when
yeah
I
you
look at
like
myself,
turn
like say I'm on Zoom like with you now, if I take off my glasses, I'll see myself with black eyes.
mm-hmm,
And I've mentioned it to my friends, and it freaks me out. Like, so I like when I do it, it's as if looking into this camera shows me the reality or a different aspect or something. So sometimes you'll see me on a video and I'm like doing this, like look, I can literally see it now. So I have like black eyes.
mm-hmm,
When I
mm-hmm,
take off these glasses, it's really weird. It freaks
mm-hmm,
me out sometimes.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's gonna
So
talking
like
about black
with those grays though, like they would be it's like an underground place looking like because I see like with the graded platform thing where they would be walking onto, and then I see like it's and I do see there's do you think do you see other family members with you and him like beside you or in that room, you know?
generally just see it's me and him. Like if it's in a lab, it's just me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because y'all are both kind of like laying back on an incline and then it's like strapped in.
uh,
But then I do because you're both really like protective of each other too. So that's kind of like a trauma bonding though, because what they do, they face you to each other so you can watch. So they feed off of that energy too of you both. At first you have to watch him, you know, doing all this stuff, and he's like the stuff they make him do is like he's his whole body like that, you know, and then he just dies, you know,
yeah,
and then you're just like screaming, and then so they feed off of that, and then he watches you do that same thing, you know, so y'all both
yeah.
have that
'Cause I,
extreme
I
that.
feel like we've both got the same abilities. Like we've both got this overpowered plasma ability and like the DMT ability
Oh,
to
okay.
microdose. I feel like
Oh,
we've got
okay.
the same
So
kind of
that's probably why
abilities.
you have anxiety then with that, you know, with seeing him or tuning into him, probably
Yeah,
more facing him, you know, because you
yeah.
don't have it with me, you know, like me and you. So
It was
it's
like
probably connecting with him,
I'm not
you
sure
know.
if some of it is like a handler resistance, like I'm not meant to know him, I'm not meant to spend time with him because there's that DNA connection. But when I had a session with him and we were just talking, and he's a lovely person, and we talked for like 90 minutes, but there was
Mhm.
still like I was shaking and he had like goosebumps and everything, and you could feel the energy was really heightened between us. It
Mm,
was insane.
yeah.
And it was, you know, it was really bizarre. So there's definitely something there, kind of on a
Hmm.
DNA level, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he has the high energy too, like electricity energy, you know.
So we're both
Um.
quite intense in a way.
Hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
they when I was on that ACIO interview and they were talking about
Mm.
femtides, and do you know what femtides are? Because I think they
Mm-mm.
must be like micro nano implants. Apparently we've got femtides in our brain and in our eyes, which can be controlled by others. Because sometimes I feel like my left eye does something different, or I'll see something holographic in the left eye
Mm.
now, but not in the right eye.
Oh, okay.
So there's some kind of implant, and I know Drago has something similar. Because
So
it
do
was
you see this? Do you see um that you and him would be sent out on missions together? Like I was seeing that you both would be on the ship, and you 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 trust him completely, you know, with what you're in this reality that's, you know, that I'm seeing, like where you're all flying, and it looks like you both, you know. So then,
Yeah.
and then he can tell you, and he trusts you that you'll take care of it, so he can relax and go to the back and do his own work too, because you'll take care of this front part, and then you know that he's going to take care of this back part. So there's not, and I have chills, and there's not many that you don't trust. I mean, unless you've programmed them, you know. So it's like, but I don't know how his trust is with giving or allowing him to be taken to do the work and stuff, you know, to allow access, like give somebody the in that reality, you know. This might
Yeah.
be completely
Because
different,
I
you
think
know.
there's an element of the two of us that's just totally imbalanced. Because when we had a session together, I was pulling cards because you the Akashic cards, and it was balance kept
Oh,
coming
okay,
over and over.
that's cool.
We're like the same kind of
Mm-hmm.
match. So when we get together, the energy is like heightened. So we talked about, like, you know, super soldiers sometimes are made in pairs, and so they can work separately, but when they bring the two super soldiers together, like the energy goes massive and it's like rapid. So there's some kind of connection like that. And
I
I
can see
definitely,
you being like a communicator to him. So,
yeah, I
you know,
think,
like above, like you would be telepathically speaking to him, and then he's in
yeah,
a suit, and then you can guide him above, you know, and like an intercom kind of
yeah,
thing, but he hears it in his mind, and then so he would go and do the things, and then, you know, in that way. So maybe it's a AI, maybe that's one of those
yeah.
reality, it's
Like
another
I think like
reality.
the left eye, I think we can literally sync in with each other,
Hmm.
in another aspect, obviously. But yeah.
Do you think it's his left eye or right eye, or is it the
Don't
same?
know, because there's definitely something going on my left eye. And when I questioned it with Peter the Insider, he said it's the femtide, so it's like, you know, it takes over.
Mm. Mm.
But I can't find any reference to these femtides anywhere, so I'm trying to do research on that.
Well, it's just like nanotech, you know, like that.
Yeah,
Hmm. Probably like little pieces of it that maybe assimilate in the eye when it's activated by the
yeah,
implant, you know, and then it just looks through the world, probably can see, you know, in different dimensions or something, you know,
yeah.
in that way.
So one of the things we talked about in the other interviews was about this merge, this monarch umbrella refugee group, and there's supposed to be 12 people, and, like, you know, three of them is me, Brian Sang, and Drago Reid. We're three out of the 12, and kind of we found each other now, but there's, you know, there's more.
Mhm.
Supposedly we were all connected together and rescued together at the same time. So can you get any feeling on this group of 12, potentially, you know, from Monarch or Umbrella?
Did they tell you anything about it? You know, because I did look it
Not
up,
really.
and it says it's coined by the ACIO, that
Yeah, not
that
really.
merge. So there's not
They just kind of
anything out.
mentioned that I was rescued from Monarch by Kruger. And because there's all these other scientists who are like trying to kill me through time and space, apparently me and Drago volunteered to go into the clone program so that we could be hidden in all these multiple aspects. Um, so it's really mad. So I don't know.
I don't like so what do you want me to look at with that? Because I
Can you
don't.
get an idea that there's more people, and like where are they? These 12 people. Can
But
you
they told you that there's just 12.
They said there's only 12
Oh,
people, and they
okay.
said they found five of them, and like I know two others. So
Hmm. um I
it's
don't
just,
know, it's more of a file, you know, and then
yeah,
these people have been selected in this group, so it's like a group file kind of thing.
yeah,
So um I mean, there would be 12 in whoever they, because I it's not um it's just for that group, for the
yeah.
ACIO,
It's
because
like
it's
we're
their
12
file.
originals, 12 originals that they have rescued, and they call us the merge, right? That's all I know. And so that's
The
something.
merc the
Uh,
is a It's the Monarch umbrella. So it's Monarch. So
refugee
it's
group.
Mind Program. Umbrella could be many of the projects. So it's like
Yeah.
these people have been on all these projects. So it's like, but the refuge, like I didn't understand what
So that's
refugee, like a
refugees. We've been rescued. Yeah. So we're
rescue.
refugees. Yeah.
So then someone rescued you. So I guess maybe I guess since the ACIO coined that
Yeah.
MERG, that maybe they had some people sent out to create this group of 12, and that was going to
Yeah.
be the name of the group. And then so what missions? It's going to be that their file of what
But
that, you know?
it doesn't sound like all 12 have been found in the here and now, but there's 12 in
I'm
other
sure.
contexts of existence. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Kind of
sure
spread out everywhere, which
I'm
is a
sure
bit,
they know all of them. You know, they
yeah,
just won't release their names and stuff, you know,
possibly.
like
Yeah.
that. Hmm.
Possibly,
Hmm.
but it's, I mean, it's so random because like I'm in the UK and others are in America, but when they went through my files, there's so much reference to me being in dumps in Arizona, like in the 1950s and things like that. So but there's also references to me being here in the UK, like, so there's
Yeah.
different aspects of me, I guess, in different countries at different times.
Yeah, because you have the clones, and so they're just activated, you know, like
Yeah.
wherever you have a clone created in all these places that have been, because the clones are sold to all the
Mm.
places, you know, because they have all these abilities. So they're highly valued and cost lots of money. So they don't ever get rid of them. So they would keep them maybe in a cryogenic chamber or something and then activated when needed, you know? So
Yeah.
there's different ones, but then there's civilian clones too that are still programmed. They might even be soulless, you know, but they're just programmed to
Mm.
complete certain missions. So there's many
So
things that it could be, you know.
if they were soulless, does that mean I'm not actually connected to them?
Maybe like you would maybe even have like a controlling them, you know, as a remote controller, you maybe sent
Yeah.
them out to do these certain things, you know, or
Yeah.
doing however it would be, because
Because
it would be certain things that you wanted accomplished. Maybe send these people out to do this mission because this would be needed or help activate or however, you know, and then so they fit in with everybody, you know, like they look normal, they fit in and stuff, but they are like a remote control kind of consciousness, you know, so they have a mission
yeah.
to do. Hmm.
Yeah, because there's meant to be versions of me that are handlers, and
Mm.
my own handler is a version of me. It's like a clone of me,
Yeah.
and who's in China apparently. And
Oh yeah.
I do the heal the handler, so I talk to my handler sometimes, and they get really annoyed. So it's
You can
quite fun.
imagine how strict you are as a handler, you know, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty strict.
Like
Um,
you get when something doesn't get completed that you have your name on, you know, then you you will almost deactivate that clone and do it yourself so it's completed. So you
okay,
don't leave anything ever open.
yeah,
You close it all out. You know, after the mission, after the job is completed, you close it down and it's an empty base. There's
yeah,
no trace of you. It's like you wiped it clean, you know? So if it's a ship, if it's a whatever it is, you wipe it clean and you were never there. You wipe all memory, you extract everything, you know, there's
yeah,
no energy at all of you, you know, there. So if somebody left a piece of hair, I mean, you scan the whole place. You said, are
yeah,
you sure you got everything? And then they say yes, you know, so you still go back and look, you know. So you're like this German soldier person that's so strict,
yeah,
you know.
ruthless.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you would want all these things, all these say grays, if they're grays, then you would have them all programmed because you know that they most likely would follow every order, you know, with no talking back, no slacking, no, you know, because you wouldn't put up with that, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm, that's cool. So the other thing I've got here is about Project Camelot. I don't know if you know much about Project Camelot.
Mm-mm, I
Um,
hadn't heard of that.
So I was a scientist. It seems to be a repeating theme. I'm a scientist, but there was a dog that was watching me, like it was in the lab with me, like
Dog.
yeah, and it was a really big dog that had a spirit in it, like a human soul. And so it was like it's literally recorded in the files that this dog Lillian was there. But I get the feeling that the dog was actually there watching me and would take me out if, if I didn't do the work
Mm-hmm.
that was supposed to be done. So even though, so I wasn't in control of what I was doing there, that dog was there
Yeah.
to watch each of the scientists. They each had their own.
Mm-hmm.
So and I even asked the question, was the dog like, when you see some people have the daemon and it's like a separate spirit entity as part of them, but it wasn't. The dog was separate and it had its
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
soul
It's
inside.
like a takeover, like the gray, like they would place these dog like a German Shepherd in there to watch, and then they could project their consciousness into the German Shepherd,
Yeah.
or whatever dog, even,
Yeah.
yeah, German Shepherd, and it's like a bigger dog, because
Yeah.
like
This one
a
is supposed to be like a mastiff,
uh-huh,
like,
like a big dog, yeah,
yeah,
any
Philo.
kind of big dog,
Yeah. But when they
and
were talking about it, I really got this feeling like it was it wasn't a friend, it was watching me.
no, yeah,
You know,
it's like
it's
a
like a
gray
prison
being
guard.
there.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
having a prison guard, but it's like an animal in the corner.
because I almost feel like it could shapeshift,
Yeah,
because it was almost like it could shapeshift as well into, um, so I think it's projecting it as a dog,
yeah,
but then it can be, and it almost looks like a reptilian just then, like it shapeshifts into a dog. So maybe like you're not, but then, so if it was like a reptilian soldier standing over there over you with a gun, then you
yeah,
would get nervous, so then they have this dog, and you're just like not as afraid as the dog, like go away dog, or whatever, like you
yeah,
try to, but it doesn't do nothing, it's just watching, it's not as intimidating. So
yeah,
but I can see that it can shape shift back into there, so they can do that, maybe project
yeah. Because I
their
feel like when
consciousness
I
in it.
tune in to that aspect of me, I know that that dog is there as a guard, and I feel like it's growling at me in a way as if
Hmm.
to say, "Come on, do the work, do the work." So it's like, it was scary. It's like a nervous feeling that I have knowing
Yeah,
that.
it barks at you, growls at you, gets on the
Yeah,
table and snaps at you, you
yeah.
know, and
So
and
there's an incentive to do the work because you know that it's just going to eat you if you don't, kind of thing, and you'll get regenerated, I guess. And yeah,
yeah, I don't know what
really
happens
weird that.
if it just bites you, because it's more,
Yeah,
because you're really controlled at that place, because you can't really like move or hit it or stab it, you can't do nothing to
yeah,
get it away. If it's in your face, it's just gonna, I guess, attack. So it seems like you're kind of stationed almost like in this little cubicle looking uh place or something, so I don't even know if you go to the bathroom, but if you did go to the bathroom, then you're escorted to the bathroom,
yeah. It
and then
goes
you
with
have
you
to come
everywhere.
back. Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it goes with you everywhere.
Everywhere. But then there's more than, it almost seems like uh there's dogs watching above,
Yeah,
and even reptilians in their form watching above, you know, and then so they have the dog. I think they have that connection with they that dog, whatever, in that. And
yeah.
then so they're, but everybody there is in like a, it's like a, did you see what the room looked like and then what you were wearing
Everything,
and what you were doing?
and literally everything just looks like white
Hmm.
lab coat kind of thing
Yep.
to me. So I'm not sure, but I feel like maybe it is underground, maybe it is in a dome, maybe it's
Hmm.
on this planet,
So
maybe.
do you know what age you are? Because it seems like you're little, seems
There's
like you're more little because you would be
yeah,
scared of a dog,
there's
because
different
as a,
references to me from being like 14 years old to
mhm,
being different, different ages.
mhm.
Um,
Okay, because then I
yeah,
do see that so this is like a reality. This is what I'm seeing. So I don't know if this matches whatever you with the file, however, with that, but
yeah,
they do, it's like you live at this facility and it's all white and it looks like you're young, like you said, like 14, you know, and all these kids too, and they are all spaced out. But there's no, you can't touch, you're not near anybody, you know, so it's like, and no talking, and it's all white, and it's like you're in a gown, you know, and it's like you're in almost like a psych ward place, it looks like in that way. But you would walk to your room like in a single file, and then the dog walks on the outside, you know, and you walk against the wall, and you walk, and
Oh,
then
you know
you
what
go
it's
into your
making me,
room, and then you stand, and then the door closes,
what's that
you know.
called? What's that show with Jessica Alba when she's got the barcode on the back of her neck and she's like,
Oh, is that like The Eye or something? The Eye?
what's it called?
Is that The Eye?
Hold on, I forget
I think
now.
it is The Eye.
Dark Angel or something. Is it?
Oh, okay.
But
I don't
that's
know.
like the kids are all in that facility and they've got their head shaved and they're like all they do is combat and whatever. But it kind of that's kind of what the whole wave, like kids walking. That's what I saw.
Oh,
Um,
so it looks like you're,
Talking about that.
do you know what you're doing at this place? Because it's not it because it's something like for the kids, you know, it's something with I keep thinking it's like a code breaker, you know, something like with codes or something, you know,
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
there's a reference to me and Sumerian codes. And I was young in that, but I'm not too sure about that one. But I do have it written down somewhere. I just started like decoding Sumerian tablets about free energy and cures and things like that. And then I was literally, you know, unalived for it
Mm.
because they didn't want me to do that. But I just started translating apparently.
With that. Okay, so do you think that that's in that program, or is
Yeah,
this,
possibly because I was
yeah.
younger.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find the picture of the
You
kid.
know how brutal they treat you? You know, it is
Yeah,
brutal what they do. Like the electroshock, they put you in the dentist looking chair to electroshock you to erase every single
yeah,
time you decode something, and it's a progress, you know, because
yeah,
you're so like in tune with it, you know, with the programming, whatever it is, you know, because
yeah,
it's like um because I was seeing like more computer looking thing too, but it's like you're synced up with the computer in a way, whatever that would look like. And then even if you look up, then that dog growls at you or snaps, you know, like snaps at
yeah,
you. Like you're so you don't you've learned not to look up, you know, and
yeah.
you
It makes me
like
feel
you
sick when you talk about this one.
yeah, my stomach I had like my
Oh,
stomach
yeah,
growled. Yeah, but it's
yeah,
like um yeah, you probably don't even get like a bathroom break or any kind of thing to eat until you go back to your cell, you know? So you go back
yeah,
to your cell, and then it's all white in there too. But I mean, I do see you have hair, but I don't know. I just see you, so I don't know if it's just you because I see you, but I know you might have different, you might look different on the outside, you know,
yeah.
in that way.
Uh,
Um, so yeah, and then you get out and they slide the food in the tray thing, and then you eat, or you not don't eat, whatever you want to do. And then you just stay in there, and that's all. And then you're let out. But then they would let you out um be electroshocked, you know, or programmed to complete another thing. So then you go back in this, and it's just a silent. It's silence. There's
yeah,
no noise or nothing like that in this whole place. It's like they don't even talk. So if you heard any kind of talking, it might even hurt or rupture your ears, you know,
yeah.
too. So I think they might even do
Does
that
that
because
does
that
that
does hurt your
feel
ears
like
just now.
that's in the future in that where it's silent in
I
that
mean, it
silent?
could be any place, but
Yeah,
I mean, it could, because it does look like it's at a base, because I see like it's like a, if it was underground, then you know how a labyrinth or facility would look, and then there's guards above and they can see inside the place, you know, like walking
yeah.
around above. So it's like that, you know, and
Because
then they
yeah,
have
how
the
it actually
dogs.
feels. It feels like getting out of that lockdown, and getting actually to do something feels exhilarating. Like it's like a drug in a way, that when I actually do get out and I get to do something, I get to decode something or program or whatever it is, it feels good. So it's like you want it, even though you know it's going to hurt you, because there's nothing else in your life. You're just there for that purpose. So it feels exhilarating.
Yeah, like a pent up
Yeah,
energy
like
that needs to be
like you can't
exploded.
wait to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it feels really heavy in my heart as I talk about it, but I get this kind of
Yeah.
surging feeling, like
Yeah, I
I
see.
want to do it, like I want to get out, like I don't want to be kept in that, like, limited space. Yeah.
I don't know how long you were kept there. I think it's, I don't know. It could be a long time and you stay that age too, and they just use
Yeah.
you, they just regress you back, until,
Yeah.
so you're continuously decoding things, and then you
Yeah.
decode the correct information, and then they would have something that messes it up, so then it's they have the original that's the correct, and then they mess it up, and then they put that out, with,
Yeah.
they have other people that are like remote viewers or something, that connect with remote viewers, and then they give those remote viewers the information that's false,
Yeah.
that. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, one of the things that was referenced was that the Greys like activate my remote view and send me off places like without me consenting, or maybe I have consented. But it happened a couple of years ago and I found myself in someone's house in California, but they could see me.
Mm.
And when I was talking to like Jessica about it, she was saying that the Greys literally just activated me and sent me out there unprepared, no idea. And because at the time I was only just starting to realize that I could do that kind of thing, and I would never
Mm.
normally do it by myself. I would always do it on a team, like on
Mm.
a grid work team or whatever. But
Maybe it was just was it just like you were you just, what were you doing? Like, just, was it probably practicing? Because,
at the
that was
time
like nothing.
I was just in I was in meditation. I was actually at Crystal College, and as soon as I relaxed I found myself just appear in somebody's house in California, and it was
Mm.
like I was creeping through the hallway, but there was a man pacing in front of a fireplace and he was on a cell phone, but he saw me, and it
Mm.
absolutely freaked me out that he could see me, because I thought, well, this is obviously the astral realm, surely, like, is he operating in the astral?
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of pulled myself out, but then I was like flying consciously over like lakes in Canada or somewhere, so it was like I had no control over it whatsoever.
Oh,
Freaked me out.
yeah.
And at the time someone had said to me, oh, it's just your guides showing you, but now, oh, it seems like it was the Zetas who were just sending me off to gather information or to warn somebody, or something like that, so they activated me,
Yeah.
kind of left me.
Probably sabotage mission or something,
Yeah,
trying to sabotage you, so you would get caught or something.
yeah, because it felt like, oh shit, he can see me, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and he shouldn't have been able to see me, surely. So that
Yeah,
freaked.
you shouldn't have been there. Like, it wasn't like something like that, because it was probably somebody and then reported seeing you, and then you maybe
Yeah,
have gotten in trouble.
so it was like they were trying to find my location or something like that. Um, but surely they know my location because I get so targeted.
Yep.
Um,
I'll draw a few cards for you here so we
yes,
can,
please. Yeah,
because it's already been an hour,
yeah,
like, it goes by fast when
yeah, yeah,
you're searching and researching and
yeah.
talking and trying to find all these
Like find the
pieces.
pieces of the puzzle. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, it's an ongoing thing too, so you're never like, it's never solved, because then you open one up and then there's more, so it's like
yeah.
that. So
It's like every day a little bit of something comes in now.
that's
It was
good.
after I had that session with Sean Bond, actually. It definitely activated something.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was so hidden before, and I'd been awarded access to something. That's how it kind of felt. Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah, it
really
was,
good.
yeah. So I was like off the radar before.
Off the radar?
Yeah.
Were you off the radar?
I thought I was off the radar.
So did in the reading then with Sean then, so he was healing up some of your aspects too? Is
Yeah.
that what?
Yeah, because he was the first one to see the SSP connection and the Monarch connection, whereas before it was like it wasn't really visible. So
Mm,
I was
I
hidden
see.
away, and then he tapped into it, and then
It
suddenly,
activated or opened it up for you
yeah, I
like
opened it
that?
up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It allowed you to access that. He probably cleared, cleared that the block, that
yeah,
was blocking you from accessing that file of you, So then you could help open it up and heal it.
yeah.
That's why, so you can heal it.
I hope so. Yeah,
So what was that aspect? Or do you, I mean, that's just one aspect, but
yeah,
because there's so many. So
yeah.
there's with this SSP, because there's so many different groups and factions and
Mm.
many realities and aspects in all these
That's
places,
that's one of the things that's connected to that Project Camelot. It's like
Oh,
that's it as being a super soldier.
so
Um,
what is that Camelot? I never heard of it.
I don't know, but it's in my file. So because I wrote it down.
They didn't tell you the definition of it?
Let me just see what I wrote down. So they're going to release that video. They just talked about I was in
Oh,
Project Ibis, which is time traveler with the time travel crystal.
okay. So what's
Um,
up with the
and
heat? Do you feel heat all of a sudden? Like, do you feel hot?
I've been
Really?
hot for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel really hot. And I
Yeah, but I've
think,
just got here Project Camelot SSP Super Soldier Program, and that's related to Dr. Black. So,
okay.
but I was young
So
in that one. But again, still, that's potentially still Arizona.
do you ever see yourself as a Sasquatch or Bigfoot or whatever, the forest people kind of thing in
Uh,
your area?
well, Sean Barnes said I do have Tuatha De Danann DNA, so I've got like Fey Realm DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And I've kind of decoded an experience I had when I was a kid, which was I now see that was a Sasquatch encounter,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of in the bushes. Freaked me out because in my mind, all I could see was like leaves, and then it made me afraid of the green man, the pagan
Mm-hmm.
symbol. But now I kind of see, I think that was a Bigfoot. So, but other than
Yeah.
that, I've not had like a personal. Um, I'm drawn to them, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Because I
but
feel them here,
I live in the
like
city,
that.
so yeah. Which
Mm-hmm.
card came out?
So I got the cards here. So let's
Yeah,
see. So I have the Christ consciousness.
cool.
I'll put it here. And some light codes here.
Okay.
So you're connected with the air element, the
Yeah.
communicate,
That's funny.
knowledge.
I'm literally just doing a class with my group about elemental crystal studies.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've got cards next to me that are all elements.
Hmm.
I've got it's the wind element.
Oh, cool. That is, yeah.
All the
That's
crystals that go with that. So
wow.
yeah, I love doing the
Okay.
elemental work.
And then you got Pleiadian Star Council,
Yeah.
like a council woman, or
Well, I
yeah, I
do.
think it's a woman, a star
Yeah.
woman.
There's a Palladian aspect of me that's on a council in Venus.
Oh yeah, I can see
Got
that.
that
Mm-hmm.
confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like kind of like a statue too, like that they worship almost in a way, that would be because it's like a older, like a older ancient statue of you,
Yeah.
like that, and then you would have that line or whatever, the lineage or something of that star
Okay.
being, because it's like
Yeah.
a star being that they put into like a it looks kind of how like if it was a Statue of Liberty kind of thing, but different kind of,
Wow.
in that way. But it's like kind of like in the center there, maybe like a goddess, you know, like
Okay.
that.
Well, I mean, Audrey Walters last year said I'm like old enough that I should be able to choose whether I want to be a star in the next incarnation. So that's kind of cool. So like I've done the rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it got shamanism.
Nice.
Definitely, definitely. Because you're connecting like with the stones, the ancient stones and the
Yeah.
relics and the ground and deeper underground too, where where there's more, where the power grid is and stuff, the ley line of the place. So you would be able to activate it and amplify it, you know, with whatever you wanted to say when you're out, because it's like you're a teacher, almost a scholar, wizard, kind of like that kind of thing. So if you
Yeah.
have like a wand or something, you just write light codes or something,
That's
and
cool.
whatever, you know, that activates.
Yeah, I'm a druid.
The horse totem,
This
and
is
that
quite
is
funny
freedom.
because yesterday we were working in my groups, we were working with unicorn energy. So I was kind of like horse, unicorn, yeah, similar kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
So the horse is freedom. Oh, that's another air element too. So this
Okay.
gives more for
Okay.
intellect, communication,
Yeah.
change. The blue kyanite, those are the crystals too.
Lovely.
Oh, then this the
Ooh.
I don't know if it feels like, what does it feel like to you?
It
Because
just
it
feels really powerful here in my
mm-hmm,
third eye. Yeah.
like a gray, you know, so maybe like a gray aspect of you that's really strict and stern to these little grays, you know. So yeah, definitely so with
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
100% you would have that. They would, because they're programmed to you, like as, you know, you're so strict to them, you know. Never give up with
I think
your
I got the black
search.
card last time.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
ever give up.
Keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Messenger. So this is that's also the hawk energy. Messengers receive guidance from angels, ascension masters, or
Mhm.
higher, you know, or your higher self. But
Yeah.
messengers.
Cool.
That's like the air element too. Tell your story.
I'm working on my story. I'm trying to piece
Mm-hmm.
it together, trying to do a
Yep.
time. Yeah. I'm not ready yet.
Look, Kruger. I haven't gotten that. You know,
That hasn't come out with anyone before.
I
Yeah, there
haven't seen
seems
it.
to be a theme in my ACIO files. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kruger connection there. Yeah. Apparently they rescued me and I'm somehow indebted to them. Yeah.
Mm. Mm. That
Yeah.
doesn't feel free, you know, when you do that. So this Decomio is flashing too. So that's
Yeah.
a Karuna Reiki symbol,
Yeah.
Decomio, and it's being
Violet breath, violet flame. Yeah, bring it on.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love my violet flame.
And then you Sirius A. This
Okay.
is gonna be the wolves. These are like your spirit guides or aspects of you,
Yeah.
the cat people, the cheetah, you know, aspects
Yeah.
that you would have. Definitely because you're not just in the program part. I know that we like to look at that too, but you can also ask these other aspects of you that's a cat, you know, or a dolphin, or the praying mantis, you know, because you have a praying mantis connection too, you know, um and also the well, right now it just is the military reptilian right there. That's like, it looks like he's at a base, like it would be Area 51. I see kind of like that kind of image, you know,
Yeah.
so that that connection with the young girl feels pretty strong right now for some
Okay.
reason with that. Like they are trying to have you do your work and decode all these things, you know, because if you decode all these scripts and codes, messages, things, you know, and how you do it is because of your DNA thing, you know, like all this is within you, you know, you have it within you. So you have, um, and they know too if you're trying to give the wrong message or translation, they know because they have like monitors on you, you know, like
Right.
that or something, or that's just energy that's scanned, you know,
Makes
and
sense.
they
You know, my
can.
arms here, I hate anybody touching my arms.
Oh,
Like
okay.
my arm, it's so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just poked me gently, I bruise. It's like
Oh,
that.
okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
you doing that, that's so weird because it's like I
Yeah.
can't stand it.
Yeah. Yeah, the sensitivity in the arms is
Yeah.
you know, that's something you might also, if you ever work on like getting one of those things that you can, like a spoon kind of looking thing that, you know, if you get the massage things, how they use
Yeah.
those spoon looking things, and it hurts, and I
Yeah.
bruise every time. I have like big old bruises all over my whole arm, but it hurts really. I know what you mean by
Yeah.
that, like on the
Yeah.
tricep area
Yeah.
especially, you know, like that. And then on my legs too. So it just is the blood flowing. But yeah, so touching some of the areas on the body, you know, like maybe touch or squeezing or pressure, you know, like that kind of a thing, you know, to get it moving, get the blood
Yeah.
flow moving and stuff too might be good in that way, you know. And then you can do your whole body with those. You can use whatever you know, like a
Yeah.
even a stone if you want to, you know. Um so yeah, so what else was we did we want to wrap it up or like
Yeah,
anything?
I think that's about it for today. That was really great. Thank you.
Yeah, so we
Um,
trying to find what the Orphan Black though, because that's the title with that, so
yeah,
it's gonna be
so it's like me and Drago are both the opposite sides on that Orphan Black program, and that's been
mm,
confirmed a couple of times now. So we're just out there everywhere. But in the program, like the males were used in the military and the females were used for surrogacy, like the babies were put in there and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's true or not. I just know that we're both in this multi-clone program that's
mm,
be
yeah.
what
Well,
all
so that would be some of the clones, you know, would be probably like on the Orphan Black, how only one of them could reproduce, you know,
yeah,
and
that's true.
but there's
So
also assassins and spies, and then some,
yeah,
but they all don't know about each other. So when they get together, so I don't
yeah,
think they ever get together when real
no,
in this life, you
really,
know.
yeah, they're not meant to get together, but they it's
Hmm.
only ones. But there's versions of me who are like assassins in like Korea, in China and Saudi Arabia, and then there's like the military versions of me that are like a Diego Garcia,
Hmm.
and all off world and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I'm not too sure about the locations for Drago stuff, but I guess we'll see in the future. But I know
He's
he's got
busy.
that
He's
like
real
rock.
busy, you know, too, like how you would be, how your clones are busy doing stuff. So you would never be able to catch him, you know, because
Yeah,
he's
he's
like
really
all
hard to track
over,
down.
you know.
And yeah, but it's mad. So yeah, so it's been confirmed 2 or 3 times now that me and him are supposed to be paired up in that Orphan Black program. So
Hmm.
which is really weird. And
Paired
then
up like
yeah,
you'd be brothers like that with the D.
yeah,
So that might be
it's
part
like
of
a
that.
DNA connection or something. Same augmentations, same targeting program.
Mm,
You know,
hmm.
so a lot of similarities
So
there.
one of those ones where they're kind of uh doing all the testing and stuff might be one of those clones, you know.
Yeah,
So they're testing to see what the clone can handle, you know, and then putting him
yeah,
in that environment more too to be to so that's
yeah.
so
So
yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of pushing you to the max, and then so that's probably why like electroshock and stuff with that, then it's hard to sleep because I think you would
yeah,
maybe feel the some kind of a current, you know, in a
yeah,
way of these others, in a way, you know, because it's so extreme. And I think
yeah,
that's meant because it's the same group that would target you here and follow you around and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's like it's same connected. So I think you're one of not the clones, but like in the Orphan Black, you're one of them, you know, the
yeah.
agents as that. So
Because
you're
it's
followed
like
and
we're
targeted.
the subject and we're the scientist at the same time, but it's different versions of us, but we're like in
Hmm.
the same, you know,
Yeah, it's
organization.
like clones of you, but they all look a little bit different too,
Yeah,
like
different.
their own personality too.
Yeah,
They could be different ages. They could be, you know, because they can regress you to different, you know, have all these different, like if you're making a cake and stuff and you're just putting the like that in and then get this one out this time, this one, so they're all different ages. you know, but they all can have the same kind of when they're in, like if it's a cake or whatever, you program it all to be this thing, and then you take this one out first and then program it and then put it over here, and then take this one out and program it and put them over here, you know, so they just kind of do different missions. But I see you as the programmer as well. So I think that, you know, like I can see like the Grays, like the Orion Grays, they would be like, you would be controlled by them as well as one of the programmers, you know, a programmer, not a handler. That's different than this, because they watch you do that too. So
it's like there's no way I can get free of these Zeta Greys then, who are like
it's
tormenting me.
everywhere. I mean,
No.
it's everywhere, but like with the Ryan that you have, that's another reality, you know, that's like, so then, and it's, and you know, they're highly advanced. I mean, and they can erase time and stop time and put, you know, do all the stuff that we can't do here. So that kind of doesn't even phase them to say, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. Then they just kind of laugh or whatever. They don't laugh, but you know,
I
they
did
don't care.
try recalling consent and things like that. I've tried that recently. Something did
Not
move
with them.
back recently, but I still feel like it's all there,
Yeah.
it's all going on, because I got hit with so much pain afterwards.
Yeah.
And my internet basically went down for like 3 days. And you know, I switched, actually that's what it was, I switched off the internet in the night because my son was gaming quite late. So you know, I'm going to switch it off and I'm going to take the router, I'm going to hide it. And and then the next day I put it back on and I couldn't get a proper connection for like 3 days, and it was as if the handlers are saying don't ever do that again, because it's a pain, and I couldn't connect my internet properly, and it was insane. So for like 3 days afterwards I got hit with massive targeting, and it was really intense. And yeah,
Sabotaging.
I kind of had to say, okay, I won't do it again. I won't switch it off again. And I got my internet back. It was like that. So it was insane.
It's difficult with that, because it's, I mean, once you leave this reality, then you can kind of see and from a higher perspective, you know, because it's a vibration too that they keep us pressing. It's like a press feeling, you know, that they keep a low frequency, and then so if you can get above it and you know, out of it, then you can see it and break it, you know. So that's but they
really
keep
hot, really hot on the back of my head as you say that.
Well, like I would, if I were you, I would maybe even ask the Sasquatch people to assist you with healing, with remembering, with helping you open up more of your memories so they can be healed, you know, things like that. So there'll be a lot, because you have a lot more, you know, in that way too. So you can do that as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. Yeah, I need more elemental help, basically, don't I? To combat all this technology.
Yeah, because they're good with the healing, because they're so, the heat, I think, is from them, you know, from the Sasquatch. Like I can see them in my mind and feel that heat, you know, and it's like it just is their presence, you know, their presence is that you feel that heat in your whole body.
Yeah, I get that. That's cool.
So okay, I'm gonna end
that's great. So
the
much.
thing, and then I think I don't think I have to end it on the restream. I'll just end it on here.
Okay, I'm not sure if it recorded on my side at all. So just if you can send me whatever, that'd be great.
Yeah, it should I don't know if it recorded on your part there, but then I still will, it'll record to the cloud on there, and then I'll just send you that too,
okay,
you
cool.
know? Yeah. So okay. Well, let me know what you find, some more stuff and all that too, because I see more too, and I learn more through you as well, you know?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.